Ho ho ho! That sounded so wrong. How does Santa do it? Imagine if we greeted each other like that all the time. Ho ho ho! Instead of hello or hi. That would just be wrong on so many levels. I would be offended all the time. Well, ho 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 there. It's Greggy Soriano, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make delicate little snowflakes that have a fun spiral effect and pretty little florals, all made out of wafer paper. And you're probably sitting there thinking, Greggy, what in the world is wafer paper? Well, wafer paper, if you're Catholic, we have this thing called Eucharist, and they put it up to you, well, the priest does, and you stick out your tongue, and he puts it on your mouth, and you eat it. It's called wafer paper, and if you had wafer cookies, it's made of the same stuff, and it's basically really thin, and it looks like paper. It's wafer paper. It's really fun to work with, and I'm going to teach you all these tips and tricks right here today on Greggy's Digest. Let's get to snowflaking. First, we're starting off with some wafer paper. If you notice, I covered it with plastic wrap like Crazy Town, and I covered it with another zipper bag and another zipper bag on top of it, just because I want to avoid it from drying. It dries really quick, and right here is a paper cutter, and I'm treating it just like paper. Make sure you wash it because it's going to be on top of the cake and it's food. And right now I'm measuring it by making little tick marks and doing it 2 inches each. So I'm doing it 2 by 2 little squares. Now that you have your itty bitty squares, start with one of them and fold it diagonally to make a triangle. Just like that. Then fold it again, just like this, to make another itty bitty triangle. Then grab a pair of scissors, and you want to hold it in a direction where it opens up, where it's folded. It's folded right there, and it's folded right there. And you want to cut 3 slits, going almost all the way to the end. You just want to avoid cutting it all the way through, and if it happens, then it happens. Start all over again. No biggie. Open Snowflakeinacia right up, and she should look like this. Grab a paintbrush or a dowel with a really thin girth. Girth? Why did I use the word girth? Ew. Yeah, just a really thin stick, and you want to create a tube just like that by using some water. And a little bit goes a long way with the water. Flip it over and add some water, and grab the inner flap and attach the 2 inner flaps just like that. Turn it around and attach the next inner flaps. Flip it and reverse it. Put your thing down, flip it and reverse it, and do the last flaps and attach those. You want to hold it for a couple seconds and it'll totally attach, but avoid putting too much water or else it'll dissolve. And it's going to look just like that. Set it to the side to dry and make 4 more of them. Some people like to use piping gel, which is totally fine, but I like to use water because it doesn't get all sticky and gloaty. And yeah, water's the best glue. Now that you're finito with your fun little spirally thingamajiggers, grab one and add some water to the base of it. If there's a large puddle of water, feel free to dab it with a paper towel or your finger just to get a little bit off, because you want to avoid putting too much because it'll literally dissolve right in front of your eyes or break off, and you want to avoid doing that. Grab another spiral thingamajigger and attach it just like this. Now keep repeating the process by attaching more of your spiralies until you end up with 5 of them and you end up with a pretty snowflake. And there's Snowflake and Aisha. Girl, you better work. I made 2 more of them. This one right here is Michelle Kwan. That's her bestie. And you're going to see Christy Yamaguchi at the end. They're all hashtag flaker friends for life. Cut more wafer paper strips into about 1 inch to 1.25 inches in width. Roll them right up and cut almost to the end, and you're creating some fringe, just like this. Right now I'm creating some petals with the extra squares that I have, and I just created the size of the actual square, so about 2 inches, and I made different sizes as well, some smaller ones. And right here I am making a slit at the bottom of the petal and cupping it just like this. So I'm attaching it to make a cup shape. And then you want to grab one petal and attach another petal to it. As you can see, I'm making a flower. So I'm grabbing it and attaching it with water. And I'm starting off with an odd number, so I start up with 3. You can start with 3 or 5. And you want to just layer it and make it to the size that you would like the actual flower to be. You want to look at your cake and look at your flower and make sure it's retrofitted into where you're going to place it. You want to avoid it from being too large because the snowflakes are already large. And right here I'm rolling up some of the fringe and gluing it together. And I'm going to smash it down just like that so it's a little bit shorter, or you could snip it off, adding more water, making it a little mushy, and then I'm attaching it as my stamens. And here's my little flower. Right here I have a crumb-coated and frosted homestyle cake in a dual tone with some grays and a teal blue and a sky blue. And right now I'm just attaching my snowflakes. And I don't have to use any glue or anything because it'll just attach right onto the buttercream. Think about the angle, the spacing, and the placement of all of these snowflakes and flowers that you're florals that you're going to put onto the cake. That was Christy Yamaguchi right there. Right here is our flower, and feel free to zhuzh the stamens that are inside of the flower. Right here I have some dragées and chocolate beads in silver and pearl and white chocolate beads. You want to randomly place the white chocolate beads and some dragées around with the tiny spoon, just like this. And avoid making a mess. You just want to make sure that it looks nice and pretty and not too thought out, but thought out at the same time, if that made sense. Right here I needed one last little cluster of chocolate beads. And there you have it, our wafer paper and snowflake wreath. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please go to GreggySoriano.com to subscribe to Caker's Crate. Oh, and speaking of, our lovely little subbies got a packet of this wafer paper and these little chocolate beads in their Caker's Crate this past December. By purchasing a Caker's Crate subscription, you're helping support this channel and allowing me to make videos every Thursday for you guys and to create bigger and better projects and awesome cakes every week. And I would appreciate so much. Below is my address if you want to send me some fun pictures of your projects that you've been doing, or a fun letter, or just to say hi. I'll do mail time and everything for you guys, and I'll do a special video. Hope you guys have a fun and happy holiday season. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye! But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the weather is slowly dying, and my dear is still goodbying. And as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh gosh, I love Christmas so much. I love it 3 much. That's how much I love it. Click right on my face to subscribe, click on the video to view my last episode on the right, and get your subscription to Caker's Crate at GreggySoriano.com.